Is it on? Can you hear me? Okay, well, hello. This is Rosa. As a 25-year-old founder in alcohol business, building ONE of US Mezcal. I turned 25 yesterday. It was a very peaceful birthday. I still haven't had a chance to fully reflect on it. I had a whole plan for my birthday, going into solitude and spend the whole day looking at the ocean, reflecting on the whole year and all. But I wake up working, and then one call after another, and then Marco and I just had a nice dinner at the end of the day. But this vlog, well, actually, I wanted to say that while I'm 25, it's not such a big difference from being 24 and 25, but I don't know, something has changed. Something feels different. I don't know if anybody 25-year-olds can really relate in here, but today's vlog is going to be about dreaming big. But hold on, let me explain. First of all, I'm in the Uber. I have my tripod right there in the middle of the car. It's super shaky. It might be very loud, but I don't know when else I can record this video, so please bear with me. I'm taking you with me to a screening of Marty Supreme. Yay! I've been wanting to see this movie for a long time, and I have heard so much about this movie. And as you know, the whole thread through the movie is about the pursuit of greatness. Even without watching the movie, but hearing so much about it and reading about it, the whole message resonated with me so much, because that's basically what I am pursuing in my life. I'm following my passion. But starting ONE of US Mezcal started from creating the best product, and the best product comes not on its own, but it's created by Maestro Mezcalero. And unbeknownst to me, you know, the first thought, oh, we need to go to Oaxaca and to find the best mezcal, but it was the wrong thinking. But later I realized that it was not about finding the great mezcal, it was about finding great Maestro Mezcalero. And indeed, when we met Jacinto, his mezcal just tasted different. Why? Because of who he is, because of his approach, because of his way of making it the way it should, with no shortcuts, with no additives. Mezcal comes with greatness. A great mezcal comes from the great maestro who dedicated his life to make it, who faced his fears, and instead of choosing comfort, he chose to follow his passion for creating mezcal, for this art form and the craftsmanship that passed down through generations in his family. And that's why ONE of US Mezcal, which is now the Jacinto's creation bottle, that's why it tastes so different, and that's why it tastes great and different. So in my own life, I realized that pursuit of greatness started since I was a kid, studying at the academy as a classical trained musician, the violin player. I haven't played violin for a while, but this is another goal for this year, but we will talk about it another time. But it all started from my classical music training, where playing Bach, classic, I know the way he writes, it is flawless, it is great. And he dedicated all his life writing music and creating music. And that's why Bach is who he is, and that's why his music is one of the best creations in this world, that the humanity were able to not only experience in their lives, but to this day, this is something that we can enjoy and we can listen to. Everything had to be played with precision, with cleanness, with understanding where the melody is going to. And while some of the pieces are very simple, but when you play them, they're actually very complex of how do you perform again each note. And growing up in an environment like that, growing up listening to classical music, playing classical music, shaped my approach to what great is. Now, sometimes I do feel like I'm focusing on the end result that is ultimately has to be great. And even me doing these vlogs, it's a way to accept the fact that greatness is achieved by discipline and repetition, and always striving for the best that you can do, with this imperfect way of showing you the raw reality of becoming somebody that I always wanted to be. And at some point I had too many fears to follow my passion, to follow my calling, until I said, that's it. I quit overthinking. I quit thinking that I'm not good enough and start following what I really, really, really want to do in my life. And that's how it was the beginning of One of Us. The same approach we have in the way we build this business. And greatness doesn't come easy. It's something that you pursue. It's an active act of dedication and choosing greatness over and over and over again, and to refuse to quit before it is great. So for me today, seeing this movie, I think I will get so much inspiration from it. And again, to see Timothée Chalamet.
Sometimes you get tired of the rain. Say it's a miracle.
Oh yeah, this is epic. Right on Sunset.
It's in months and months. We haven't seen each other in like 4 months.
Too long.
Keep on going. Feel your heart breaking.
Oh, your hair color. I tried to do it.
If I told you that would you hold it?
My heart, seeing this theater filled to the brim, the kind of reception you gave both of us coming out here, I mean, truly it hits me in my core, you know, and for me, it's been a bit of a vibe shift, where I feel in December, my energies were entirely towards getting this movie out in the biggest way possible, because I really believe in it, and hugely, and I'm so satisfied everyone here has seen it now, because I think now you guys hopefully know what I was talking about, which is that this is, to no consequence of my own, I'm a part of it, but really because of Josh Safdie, this incredible director, and the incredible cast, the incredible production team, yeah. And I know it's not just actors in here too, so I want to shout out Jack Fisk, the production designer, Bianca Valencia, the costume designer. And the effort here was sincere in the sense that there was no ulterior motive here. It was like a bunch of hungry artists coming together and giving it their all. So, specific to your question, I feel like what this moment is now is I've really tried to get out of the mindset of, okay, getting this out in the biggest way possible, and really even stepping into a place like the Directors Guild, you know, in a room full of fellow artists tonight, you know, switching mindset into gratitude, but also, you know, reverence sounds like a cheesy word, but real reverence for the, you know, the opportunity to be in these spaces, to be on stage with you, you know, not just to blow smoke.
Feel free.
Okay. Well, in that case, you know, obviously someone whose career I look up to hugely, you know, and we basically met on FaceTime a couple of days ago.
Yeah, here's how it went. I saw this movie and I was like, fuck, man, he's really done it. This is mind-blowing. And also just because it's just such a great film, you know? Any one of us can say, you know, the worst review you ever want to get is, he's the best thing in the movie. It's that you're so exceptionally good, and that the film, I mean, this is a real piece of art. And I think that nowadays that's a fair world or a fair life fallacy, that life is in some way fair. And when you were approaching playing Marty, knowing what the trajectory was there a mindset you were thinking like, this is what is driving him from moment to moment to moment?
Man, I love that question, because if you grew up in New York, I'm sure people here grew up in New York as well. You have front row right away.
We have one East Coaster here. Let's go.
I'm sure there's many.
Right.
By the way, I don't think it's a New York thing. I think it's a Philadelphia thing. I think it's a Boston thing. Yeah, like if you grow up in that pressurized setting, you know, I grew up in a building called Manhattan Plaza. Once more, I'm sure people here have either lived there or know people that have lived there. That it just makes you dream and dream bigger than life. And I haven't heard that fair life fallacy, but I think I realized it very early on. I had a childhood and upbringing where I could have a sleepover with a friend where I visit their living condition and realize, okay, I'm in a better living condition, and I'll go somewhere else and I go, okay, this person's in a way nicer living condition than I have. And but it really made me dream big, and that's what was so inspiring with this movie. Is I feel as I've, you know, gotten older and talked to my little cousins or whatever, I feel like when I was in high school, dreaming big that's what I consumed. It's the Nike commercials I consumed. It was the Kobe Bryant commercials I consumed, the Michael Jordan documentaries. And then I feel like maybe it was post-COVID or something, I don't know, like as the world has become evidently harsher, I think the world's always been harsh, but now social media is evidently harsh. And I feel with young people there isn't that, and I want to, I think trying hard is awesome, and I think Marty Mauser is an embodiment of that. He's a try hard, but when you're in a setting like he is, or I feel like I was in early in my acting career, you have to be the stalwart. If you're not rolling 13 deep backstage, you're one deep. You're your only support system, and I hope I didn't cross anyone the way he crosses people in this movie, but in those moments, it's not that I necessarily related to it, but it's like Meryl Streep said, the parts of your character you don't get it when you finally understand them, that's when you crack the character. And I feel Josh Safdie, the director, was always in my head about, you don't judge this guy, and some of the comments towards Rachel or whatever, I have that great line at the end to Ram Sethi, the table tennis commissioner, where he says, where I come from, it's every man for himself, and that really does something to a person. That sounds so plain spoken and maybe not sophisticated in the setting I just said it in, but if you grew up like that, you know that to be true,
Can we just talk about that last scene where he goes into the place and sees his baby?
It was an amazing thing to work on, I'm so grateful to have worked on something, be around people that look up and not down,
Yeah, bro. My instinct, yeah, give it to him. My instinct is, and I was thinking about,
Guys, you really, really have to watch it. It's a roller coaster of emotions, and what I really enjoyed is, indeed, as they said, a new superhero, a new characteristic that make us purely humans, not perfect, raw, but ultimately the ones who are refusing to say no to themselves. And I really, really like it. I will take it to the... We are going to W Hotel for mezcal tasting, and it's interesting because before our travels to Mexico, I wanted to go there and set up a meeting, but then it didn't happen. And after a recent meeting that Marco had, a friend of his was able to introduce us to some folks at the hotel, and today we are going there. And it is, after doing this for a while, there is a huge difference when you go to a place and just knocking on the door, they don't know you, they don't know what are you about, and then you're trying to build this warm connection out of the blue. And going through the human guard in the beginning, it's so difficult and it takes time. And then what's a huge difference when then there's someone who can make a warm introduction, a warm connection. And Marco and I, we keep seeing that, as in every business, it's all about relationships and building those relationships. And I have to say that I'm so grateful to our community that have been supporting us. And after trying ONE of US Mezcal and seeing the concept and seeing the vision that we're trying to bring into the world, they are opening their connections and the doors to places that they think ONE of US belongs. And it's very special when somebody sees the idea, the vision that we had initially, and again, it just continues to find its way little by little. Since I turned 25 a couple of days ago, I was reflecting on the year and talking to my sister, to a couple of my friends, and all of them were giving me the compliments for the things that I have accomplished in the early age, but also my determination and the discipline that I bring into making this dream come true. And I have to say that sometimes it's so difficult to see it as, when you are in it. And to me, the hardest year is behind me, but I know that this year is not going to be easier. And if anything, I decided to double down on all of my efforts. And I guess the point that I'm trying to make, that it is so helpful when there's someone that can tell you the things that you have accomplished while I wasn't able to see them. I am on my race right now and I don't see myself from the outside. I just see things that are in front of me. And when there's someone who can tell me the things that I'm doing and observing me from the outside, it is very, I don't even know what would be the word to describe it. It's not necessarily comforting, but it is definitely something that helps me to tap myself on the shoulder and say, Rosa, you are doing fine. Since I was a little girl, I always had those almost unattainable dreams and goals. And I wish I could say that there were never people in my life saying that I wasn't able to achieve them. But unfortunately, I did have so many people that were even laughing at me when I was saying that I'm going to the United States. And some of my teachers were laughing at me saying, yeah, sure, good luck with that. And to me, again, reflecting on my 25th year of life and 6 years being in the United States, and then 3 years building One of Us, 4 years building an entertainment space brain, I see that things are happening because I'm putting so much effort and means into it, and it is happening. And why I'm saying this, because there are so many moments where I feel like nothing is happening, and but it does. I need to teach myself how to be grateful for the things that I have, and not in a way that not deserving these things, but more from the place that I deserve this place, and now I'm grateful that I have these moments in my life that I can experience. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I don't know if any of this made sense, but in my head it makes sense. We arrived. I'm sure it's going to be a really good tasting. Marco, are you excited?
I am so excited, actually.
Hey.
Impermanence refers to the state or quality of being transient, temporary, or not lasting indefinitely. It denotes the idea that everything is subject to change and eventually ceases to exist.
And I have you for now, and I love you for now.
Well, we just closed the W Hotel. This is very exciting. Indeed, what Rosa was saying is that what a difference when you're coming and knocking doors or you're introduced by someone. But it's very exciting. The W Hotel has been always very dear to me. I've had friends that live here. I have great meetings here with artists, talking about music videos. So thank you to Rosa for coming up with the idea of creating this beautiful product. And wow, we just closed the W Hotel.
Our second sale of the year.
Facing this side.
Oh, here you go,
Facing
yeah.
this side, in between those three toolboxes.
Yeah, One of Us is gonna be right there eventually. Yeah, I think it will still create a
Little puff
reflection.
of red.
We are in the car again. You know, we haven't had a car in 4 months, and now we have one, and it is so nice to be back. To be back in the rhythm of doing business and doing meetings, so many of them in one day. I still feel this aftertaste of how excited they were about this whole concept. Marco and I pitched them the experiential One of Us tasting, and they got also very excited. So the goal is maybe we will be able to do something together for the Valentines. And now we are going to another event. While I was at the Marty Supreme screening, Marco had a tasting at this event that organized by our friend Nathan, and it's an event for people in the money world, entrepreneurship, finance. After Marco shared the story about the story about the brand. Everybody wants to meet me and know how did I come up with this idea and how together we developed it to what One of Us is today. And this is very cool and exciting. I feel very flattered.
Indeed, last night it was such a great event. Everyone got to experience One of Us in the way that people, our guests, should experience One of Us.
If I go from New Zealand to the Australian MBO in the coming season, which will start in October.
Of technology, and then the counter of how do we start to validate everything that's going on and make this human. You guys don't live under a rock. Sports seems to be this together. It cuts through barriers, and it's not just in person anymore, right? Now we're able to do it digitally and start to build those bridges, as Clinton was alluding to. Most importantly, how do we build community to belong to something bigger than us and make impact that will last longer than we are participating?
Lunch break. We came to this one of my favorite spots in Venice. It is called Window, and the quality of the burgers, it is just the next level. And very rarely I can come here because we don't live in this part of the town, but it is so amazing to be here. I found out about this place through my sister Sophia when she came from Ukraine, and she started exploring so many cool places in Los Angeles that she started recommending me places, even though I have been living here longer than her. One more stop before going to the art gallery organized by our friends C and Leo. But since we are in the same area, we are gifting a bottle of One of Us to the agent at CIA, who is representing one of the projects that Marco and I are developing with Space Brain. And, you know, he helped us a lot this year and done an amazing job. And we wanted to say thank you and leave him a bottle of One of Us Mezcal. I'm very excited for him to try. I don't know if he likes Mezcal or not, but I'm sure that he will enjoy One of Us because it's quite an experience. So we're gonna go there. Really quick, leave the bottle, and then go straight to art gallery that I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, we left the bottle, and now we are ready to go to the art event. A new friend of ours that we met in Puerto Vallarta just a couple of weeks ago is visiting LA right now, and we invited him to this place, and I think we're gonna see him today as well, which is very exciting. These are our friends.
Life is the slow unraveling of all the things we thought would last, and yet in that quiet undoing we find what it means to feel.
If we could be anywhere, we'd be in Paris, or better yet, somewhere in the universe, like on the rings of Saturn. But it's just a state of mind. And if we had everything, we'd still want more until our stomachs burst.
Your resume, I'm gonna tell you, incidentally, that is one of the best resumes I have ever seen. Really? But then I go back and I look at your education.
My dream, my personal dream will be that Friday we yay, let's do this. And then we hit the ground running ASAP.
Marco and I, we had a meeting, and now he got invited to this event for entrepreneurs, but for men. And they invited me to hang out with them, and I said, please have fun, do your thing, but I want to be with you, and I want to talk to you. I want to chat, to give you some updates, and just spend time together. Something amazing has happened. I celebrated my birthday, and why it is so special to me, because I haven't celebrated my birthday since I moved from Ukraine. And the reason why is because, moving from a different country to a place like Los Angeles for a long time, while I was good at building relationships and meeting some friends, but at some point it never felt like it's something real. And I think in one of the videos I was talking about that in LA it's very easy to meet lots of people, but then to nurture relationships to the point where you can call the other person a friend, it is not as easy. I don't know why, but I was actually very sad every time. But this year I said, I think I'm ready. I'm not afraid that if I invite some people, nobody will show up. But I thought to invite some friends and to have some cool time. And we did, and it was a very, very fun night. Here are some videos for you.
Happy birthday to you. Okay, you have to give a speech.
Guys, this is my first time celebrating my birthday. Wow. For a long time, I thought that I don't have friends. And if I invite people, nobody will show up. After 9 years, I invited my friends and you are all here. And this is very special. Thank you so much for being in my life. Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being in Marcus and my life. And it is very, very special to have you here tonight. Thank you. I love you so much.
Make a wish, Rosa.
Rosa, alabío, alabao, alabim, bomba. Rosa, ra, ra, ra.
It means so much to me as Rosa's husband to having met her and witnessed the development of an amazing rising star as an executive, as an entrepreneur, as a visionary, as a loving wife, as an amazing friend, as a beautiful Christian girl. I'm so grateful on every capacity for who you are, and I'm so glad that you see that you have friends, because genuinely Rosa was like, I don't think anybody's gonna come to my birthday. I'm like, Rosa.
What are you talking about, Rosa? What are you talking about?
Exactly. And in your hands, all of you guys have a little glass of, in 2022, at the end of the year, Rosa sat me down and she said, Marco, sit down, we need to talk. And when your wife tells you, sit down, we need to talk, she's either leaving you. She's either leaving you or you're having a baby.
Well, what a baby do. What a baby.
Rosa had the idea to create a brand of mezcal, and we went for it. Over there, Rich and Richard, raise your hands, because they were the first ones that we told them, like, hey, we want to do this. And you guys were like, go for it. And we came back with some samples, and you're like, this is the best mezcal we've ever had. So you're about to try it too. Mark over there, you're friends for a long time. Janet, thank you so much for guiding us in the financial world. And Adrian, Walid, Victor, everybody here means so much. Chen, all the old friends, all the new friends that I just met. We're gonna say cheers, and in Zapotec, which is the region where we make our mezcal, we say Gishbeu. Gishbeu means cheers. And on that note, thank you for loving Rosa, thank you for being our friends, thank you for being here. We love you so much, you mean the world. Gishbeu.
Gishbeu.
It's strong.
We are in the middle of hiring. This is going to be our first hiring for the company. It is a very huge step for Marco and I. But, you know, last year we did everything ourselves. Everything. And perhaps we were a bit too ambitious, thinking that we can build an alcohol brand from scratch on our own and don't have real connections or real relationships in the industry. And everything that we have built, it's, you know, over the time. And while introducing the brand, it is one thing, but then finishing with the sale, it is a different thing. What we have done was a great experience, and we've done so much, and we learned so much. If you will put me right now in a room with somebody from the industry, I can hold the conversation and talk about all the nuances and understand, you know, what are we talking about. But continue building the brand where we can bring ONE OF US Mezcal to more places, to more on-premise places, and also generate sales. It requires a bit more than Marco and I, and we're ready for the step to bring a new person on board to join this amazing journey. I wanted to read you something. So this is from Jude Friedman. He's an amazing guy from tech. He just launched his app, and I had a conversation with him because he is right now doing some coaching for entrepreneurs and CEOs. And I follow him on social media, and he posted it, and I wanted to read it to you. I think something cool happens when you take your dreams so seriously. You would give almost anything to reach them. Then laugh about the fleeting nature of achievement. That's the hilarious sweet spot. When you care enough to give it everything, and you're wise enough to know none of it will matter in 100 years. As bizarre as it sounds, I think that might be where peace lives, in the odd liminal space between self-importance and cosmic indifference, between control and chaos, obsession and perspective, between going all in and letting it all go. That's the art of life, because life's too short not to make a dent while you are here, but also lighten the fuck up, laugh at yourself. None of us really know what we are doing. We are just slightly evolved apes on a spinning rock trying to make it mean something. And a couple of things. First of all, I do not believe that we are evolved apes. I believe we are human beings, species that have our own purpose on this planet, and that were created as humans originally, and that's personally my perspective. But what I like about him saying about this balance of specifically control and chaos and an obsession and perspective, because I used to root a lot of decision making into control, the concept that I can control the narrative and I can control how things will play out, and it is not the case. I had to learn a very hard lesson of knowing that I cannot control the future, I cannot control the outcome. It is something beyond me, but I can have a direction and the perspective with which I do everything to the best of my abilities. Hey, I'm recording my vlog.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, what did you want?
Oh, when you're done.
Come out to
Okay.
say hello.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting. What I want to say, I found comfort in chaos. It is very liberating to see how we're able to thrive in the chaos and finding the ways of making things work out of nothing. Continue building even when we don't have enough resources, even when we don't have enough things that you need to have in order to build, but we keep building, and in that chaotic, never giving up process, things are aligning in the most beautiful way that you never ever thought of happening, because you don't control what other people do for you. You do not control what other people think of you. And in my case, I can only pray for God opening other people's hearts towards me, towards Marco and what we're building, and then just go with an open heart and do my best at communicating the values of the brand that we're building. And then if those values resonate to the other establishment, to the business owners, to the people that we want to build this together and develop it together, then this is what can happen or not. And there's just so much beauty in unknown. And for a couple of years, I've been really enjoying the becoming process, and I have been very enjoying the process of building, not the outcome. Because I've been already talking about the dream and the fulfillment of the dream and the gray area that is right there in between, but this is where the magic happened. But then there's also an amazing opportunity to find joy and so much fun in this period of time that is indefinite. I don't know when one of us will reach its highest potential. It can be in a year, it can be in 5 years, it can be 10 years, or it can be in 100 years, who knows? But I know that if you have a vision and you can stick to your vision and with no fear approach to what you truly believe in and find this peace and comfort in chaos and the uncertainty of not knowing what you are doing, but keep going, it is a very amazing feeling of life. This is the last video for this vlog, because I will need to have some time to edit it, and so that you could see it on Friday, which is today for you. We're going to the meeting with a very extraordinary entrepreneur in tech, a friend of mine with whom I went to Marty Supreme screening. She just started working with him, and she told me, Rosa, we're looking for founders, creators, innovators with interesting stories to feature on our podcast. And she said, do you know somebody? And I said, well, I know Marco, and he indeed has a very and he indeed has a very interesting story. So today we are at this meeting with Tim, the entrepreneur who's gearing up to host his podcast to share our worlds, our stories, and go from there. But it's so funny because we're meeting at this. But it's fun because we're meeting at this place that I've been trying to get one of us in for so long, and for 3 months straight, I was going there. I was meeting with a bar manager and sending the emails and calls for 3 months till I called and they told me that she is no longer works there. So at this point, I didn't think Marco and I will be trying to get one of us into that bar unless, we get an introduction. Marco is so cute. He got me this holder in the car so that I could put the camera and talk to you and not hold my phone always in front of me, because my phone is big and very heavy. And that's very nice of you. Thank you. But okay, guys, we did it. It was a very successful meeting. We are ending this vlog on a very exciting note, preparing for welcoming Walid for ONE OF US Mezcal. And it is a very humbling experience when you start a company from nothing and you jump into this void, not knowing how everything is going to play out, and you just swim in this uncertainty, hoping that every day will bring an opportunity to grow this company further, and seeing this company needing and demanding more people to build this into the vision that Marco and I have. It is very special and a very humbling experience where you see that this company is moving forward and developing itself. And it is very, very exciting and fulfilling to me as a founder. We are also potentially going to New York. A friend of mine reached out to me saying that she's opening an art gallery in New York and she would love to see one of us and me and Marco to do the tasting. We will do numbers on our end and see if we will be able to do it or not. But I really want to go to New York so much. Also, we are in the process of Series A and we are putting everything together to go and hunt for people that are excited becoming the part of this brand and building this together. And yeah, I have to say it was a very exciting week and my first vlog as a 25-year-old founder building an alcohol brand here in Los Angeles and Mexico. And I want to thank you for being with me and supporting me along this journey and showing yourself in my DMs and comments. I really appreciate you. So please don't forget to show up in the comments, hit the notification button, subscribe, and show me your love so that I could see who you are. But I want once again to thank you for being with me. I enjoy spending time with you. Yeah, I will see you in a couple of weeks and I already miss you.